Here's a trivia quiz for you. Which Beatle formed a supergroup after the band went their separate ways?
That's easy, George Harrison and his invention of the Traveling Wilburys.
Yeah, somehow I knew you'd have the answer for that.
You can't stump me that easily, but, calling it an invention almost gives it too much credit. It wasn't really planned. It's one of the best stories in rock history because it wasn't even supposed to happen.
That's exactly what we're getting into today, the Traveling Wilburys. And you're right, that whole idea of a supergroup. When you hear that term, you think of something very corporate.
Oh, absolutely. The typical supergroup, it's all high-priced lawyers,
Right.
Massive corporate boardrooms and egos the size of a small country. It's calculated.
The business deal.
It's a business merger, not a band. And honestly, the music usually suffers for it. You can almost hear the money, but you can't hear any of the joy.
Exactly. It feels manufactured because it is. But the Wilburys, they were the total opposite. I mean, maybe the greatest supergroup ever. And the whole thing started because George Harrison forgot his guitar.
It sounds like a punchline, but that's the literal truth. So, okay, the scene is 1988. George is in Los Angeles.
Right. His album Cloud 9 had been this huge comeback for him. Got My Mind Set on You was everywhere.
Everywhere. And his label needs a B-side track for a European single.
And for anyone who doesn't remember vinyl, the B-side is, it's the song on the back.
It's the throwaway. It's not supposed to be a masterpiece.
It's filler. So George is with Jeff Lynne, who produced Cloud 9, and they go out for dinner with Roy Orbison.
Just a casual Tuesday night in L.A. for those guys. And George says, hey, I need to record this track tomorrow really fast.
And Jeff Lynne says, I don't know where we can go. No studios booked.
And this is the moment. Roy Orbison, the big O himself, just says, if you do something, I'd like to come along and watch.
He just wanted to watch. One of the greatest singers in history just wants to be a fly on the wall.
It says so much about him. So they need a studio. And George, being George, just picks up the phone.
And calls Bob Dylan.
Hey, Bob, can we use your garage studio in Malibu? And Bob says yes.
So the plan is George, Jeff, and Roy are going to Dylan's. But then the happy accident kicks in.
Right. On the way over, George realizes he left his guitar at Tom Petty's house.
Which, again, just shows you how tight this circle was. It wasn't agents calling agents. He just left his guitar at a friend's place.
So he swings by Tom Petty's house to grab it. And while he's there, he basically just says, hey, we're going over to Bob's to record something. Want to come?
And Tom Petty just joins the carpool.
And just like that, because of one forgotten guitar, you have the most overqualified garage band in history. Harrison, Lynne, Orbison, Dylan, and Petty.
So let's go inside that garage, because the atmosphere is so important to why the music sounds the way it does. This wasn't some high-tech, sterile studio.
No, not at all. It was literally a garage. The door was open, flies were buzzing around. Tom Petty later said that George kind of conned them into it, but that it was just too good to miss.
He said it was so easy that everyone was just throwing in words.
That's the key. You have 5 frontmen, guys used to being in charge. But in that garage, nobody was the boss. The song was the boss.
And Petty talked about just being fascinated watching the dynamic between George Harrison and Bob Dylan.
Oh, yeah, he was completely mesmerized. He said Dylan was like a cameraman, always zooming in and out. He'd just write pages and pages of verses.
Like more than they needed.
10 verses for a song that only needed 3. It's like he creates this huge block of marble and then just chips away everything that isn't the song.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And while Dylan is doing that, George is there working out chords. And George had this unique ability to guide it.
He was the glue. He wasn't intimidated. He could tell Bob Dylan, no, that line's not working, and Bob would actually listen.
Can you just picture that? Dylan scribbling, Harrison playing slide guitar, and the result from that one afternoon was Handle with Care.
Written and recorded, done, in just a few hours.
So then they take this throwaway B-side to the record label, and the reaction is?
Panic. Or just awe. They rejected it. They told George, this is too good. You can't just throw this away on the back of a single.
So they demanded a full album.
And the accident officially becomes a project. But they didn't want to be George Harrison and friends. They wanted to do something different.
They created alter ego.
This is one of my favorite parts of the whole story. They made up this fictional family, the Traveling Wilburys. They were all half-brothers, sons of Charles Truscott Wilbury Sr.
It sounds like something you'd make up in a treehouse.
But why? I mean, their voices are so recognizable. It wasn't a real disguise. It wasn't about fooling anybody. It was about ditching the baggage. When you're Bob Dylan, there's so much weight on that name. People expect a masterpiece.
But if you're Lucky Wilbury,
you're just a guy in a band again. It's liberating.
Okay, so let's run through the lineup for that first album. George Harrison was.
Nelson Wilbury. He was the spiritual leader, the guy who got them all together and insisted on that signature slide guitar sound.
Then you have Otis Wilbury.
That's Jeff Lynne, the producer. That tight acoustic sound, those amazing harmonies, that's all Jeff Lynne. He made the garage chaos sound like a polished record.
And Lucky Wilbury.
Bob Dylan, the poet, the quirky lyrics, that gravelly voice. Lucky is such a funny name for him, isn't it?
It is. Then there's the kid of the group, Charlie T. Wilbury Jr.
That's Tom Petty. He brought that classic rock and roll energy. He was kind of the bridge between all these huge personalities.
And finally, Lefty Wilbury.
The voice, Roy Orbison. He picked Lefty in honor of his hero, Lefty Frizzle. And his job was just to soar. You hear it on Not Alone Anymore. He just lifts the whole thing to another plane.
And we can't forget the man in the back. Not an official brother, but
Buster Sidebury. The great Jim Keltner on drums. He was the engine room for the whole project.
I want to talk about the sound of that record for a second. It's so distinct from everything else in 1988. They had this no-tech rule.
Yeah, but that's a bit misleading. It's a very produced album, just in a specific way. The rule was no serious tech like MIDI or click tracks, but Jeff Lynne's production is all over it.
It's that acoustic bed, right?
Exactly. He wouldn't just record one acoustic guitar. He'd have them play the same part 3, 4, 5 times and then layer them all together.
It creates that shimmer. It's like a synthesizer pad, but it's made of wood and steel.
Perfectly put. It fills everything up. And because they were in an actual garage, the drums had to be really contained.
Right. Jim Keltner couldn't go full Bonham in there. He'd blow out the mics.
So he's playing with brushes, with hot rods. The drums are dry and shuffling. It gives the album this really intimate, dusty feel. It sounds like 5 guys in a room because they were 5 guys in a room.
And it breathes. You can hear them listening to each other.
And the talent in that room, it's just staggering. But, for all the other legends, there was a special reverence for Roy Orbison.
He was from a different era, almost.
He was. You have to remember, the Beatles toured with Roy in 1963 before Beatlemania exploded globally.
They were just kids, really.
And they would stand in the wings of the stage every single night and just watch him. They were in complete awe. Roy would just stand perfectly still in his dark glasses and sing.
And just level the place.
Decimate the audience. He didn't need any theatrics. He had that voice. So for George and the others, having Roy in the band wasn't just cool. It was an honor.
You can hear it on the album. When Roy starts singing, everyone else just kind of steps back.
They let him have the spotlight. It's beautiful.
So the album, Traveling Wilburys Vol. 1, comes out. And for this casual garage band.
It was a monster. Reached number 3 on the Billboard 200, went triple platinum in the U.S.
And won a Grammy.
They won a Grammy for Best Rock Performance. They beat out actual touring bands. It's hilarious.
But right as all this success is peaking, there's a tragedy.
Yeah. It's the heartbreaking part of the story. Roy Orbison was having this incredible comeback. He was so happy he'd found a group of peers where he didn't have to carry the whole weight himself.
He was just one of the guys.
And then, in December of 1988, right as the album is a smash hit, he passes away from a heart attack.
It's so sudden, so jarring.
He was only 52, and the band's response to it, I think, was just so full of grace. They had to film the video for End of the Line shortly after he died.
I remember that video. They were on a train.
That's the one. It's a really upbeat, joyful song. And when Roy's vocal part comes in, that soaring voice, they don't use old footage. They don't hire a lookalike.
They do.
The camera just pans over to an empty rocking chair, and sitting in the chair is Roy's guitar. And the chair is just gently rocking to the motion of the train.
Wow. That gives me chills just thinking about it.
It's this quiet, powerful, dignified nod to their missing brother. It says everything without saying a word. He's gone, but his music is still with us on this journey.
And they never replaced him.
Never. And they never played a single public concert. That video is pretty much the only time you see them perform together.
A triple platinum band that never played a single gig. That's unbelievable.
They did release a second album, which, to be funny, they called Volume 3.
They just skipped Volume 2 entirely.
Just to mess with people. And they all took on new names. George became Spike, Tom became Muddy. But without Roy, the dynamic was different.
You can't replace that voice.
You can't. But the legacy is about that human spark. George Harrison created the greatest rock and roll clubhouse in history.
And he proved that the best music doesn't come from a boardroom.
It comes from friends in a garage. It comes from a party. It's not work.
It's joy.
It's friendship. And that's why it still sounds so incredible today.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Whenever you feel like knowing more about the Beatles, visit us at BeatlesRewind.com. It's the Beatles, all day, every day, 8 days a week. Cass, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely. Same time, same station.
Until next time, when you listen.
Your mind conducts its own symphony.